Shopping is hard, right? But there's a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And she sends just for me pieces. Plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what I love and send back the rest. It's so easy. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
Experience a progressive lens engineered with AI from Essilor, powered by individual measurements of your visual behavior. A lens personalized to you by an Essilor expert. Discover Verilux XR Track and enjoy instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Find your local Essilor expert today at Essilor.com.
Good morning to you, beautiful people. Congratulations, you made it to another month. You can thank me in advance. It is April 1st, thus it's April Fool's. Don't let anybody get you. Don't let him get you. Don't let her get you. Don't get got on this April 1st.
I had a plan.
What happened, Bob?
I was going to get mad at something Chase said and say, you know what, I'm done with this, and walk off. And see, y'all bought that. Y'all bought that? No, but I mean, I'm done.
It wouldn't have been a joke, Shady. It wouldn't have been a joke.
I'd have been like, I'm done with this.
You got the glasses through on the right.
It's just another day in April.
Oh, no, these Cartiers. Yeah, I mean, these ain't really glasses. You know what I'm saying? Accessories.
Oh, okay.
Hey, y'all could be watching any show. Y'all are hanging out with us. It's The Facility. Get ready to laugh. Get ready to smile. Get ready to learn a thing or two about sports. Let's debate a little more discussion, a little of what the world needs right now. Hey, I don't know if y'all saw this. Aaron Rodgers was throwing with DK Metcalf 15 minutes down the road here at UCLA over the weekend. Now, why is this so intriguing? Well, for several reasons. Number one, DK Metcalf newly plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number two, Aaron Rodgers met with the Pittsburgh Steelers about 11 days ago in Pittsburgh. The Steelers need a quarterback, and DK Metcalf is a new wide receiver. That poses a question that nobody is better suited anywhere on television than the man to my left in James Jones. James obviously played with Aaron Rodgers. You won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. It's The Facility. Y'all get about 40 years of NFL experience here uniquely on this show. James, start us off. For NFL fans, for Steelers fans, for fantasy football fans, for betting fans, hey, should people be excited? And specifically, should Steelers fans be excited about Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf?
Steelers fans should absolutely be excited about Aaron Rodgers throwing to DK Metcalf. Number one is letting the Steelers nation know that he wants to play football. Number two, I don't know if y'all know, but y'all quarterback right now is Mason Rudolph. All right, so I don't really know how far you guys are going to go with Mason Rudolph. So to have a guy in Aaron Rodgers who's capable of making those two dudes, DK and George Pickens, really, really good players, they should be really excited that he is out there throwing because it lets me know he wants to play football this year, and it lets me know that it's going to be the Steelers. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care who reports it and all that. It's letting me know that it's going to be the Steelers. There's no way.
Breaking news from James Jones.
James Jones. There's no way that DK says, hey, man, let's throw. Why are you calling me to throw, bro? I ain't coming to Pittsburgh.
They look happy, man.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way Aaron will reach out to DK. Hey, bro, come out, work out, let's throw. For what, man? You know what I mean? Hey, I'm going to go out here.
Share what you shared yesterday. I found it fascinating. I played in the NFL, obviously, but had no idea what you mentioned as far as quarterbacks don't throw with receivers at random unless they're training at the same offseason facility.
No doubt.
Share that intel.
If you're training at a facility, let's say you train in Arizona and there's everybody there. Shady McCoy there in his Cartiers and, you know what I'm saying, James Jones there. You'll throw with the dudes there. But you do not do no private workouts with receivers, just you and them, unless they are your receivers for the season or unless you're about to go to that football team. That is it. There's no way we should be sitting here talking and doing that about chemistry and all that type of stuff about how to run certain routes if I'm not going to be playing with you. So this screams a lot to me right here. I threw with Aaron Rodgers in San Diego and Los Angeles and all that in the offseason because I was going to be catching from Aaron Rodgers. I did not go catch from Eli Manning. Well, I'm going to go over there for. I am not catching the football from Eli Manning. So they should be excited because to me this screams that Aaron Rodgers wants to play football and he's going to be a Pittsburgh
real
Steelers.
quick, that's a good point, though, because I remember, you know, all the quarterbacks, they ought to call these little meetings and little practices and all that. And I remember Mike Vick was the quarterback, and he called, okay, get back, we all going. And I remember one time, I think we had one like 2 weeks later, and I think Vic got sick or something like that, and I think Matt Barkley, quarterback. He called, hey, we gonna do passes.
So
I'm gonna be there, dog. I'm gonna be there. You know I ain't come. And there's no April Fools. So when you said that, like when the star quarterback calls you, gonna make sure you answer that call and go.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I like it. I think they should be excited for the most part. Look, this is all everyone up here at the desk is saying is like when you're in the off season and you go and you call these workouts and you say, hey, it's usually with other guys though. It's usually with a running back. It's usually with the other receiver. Now George Pickens probably out on the East Coast. I think DK's here. So this just is a dating process to me. I said it yesterday, but first, he flies in, he meets with the Pittsburgh Steelers brass, including Mike Tomlin. They have intimate conversations, which is meaning nothing on the football field. How are you going to handle everything off the field? How will you be as a teammate? I think that was really smart as Tomlin. The next step in the dating process is go try your girl out. Okay, that's DK Metcalf, right? You have to understand what type of guy you're getting to go with. And I think this right here is awesome. Like, this is one clip of it. I didn't even know we had video of it. But they're trying to get this timing down. And so this dating process is like, all right, what's the next step? Because it looks like it went well, right? It looks like it went well with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's holding Aaron Rodgers back? Like, why? That's the only thing that gives me pause a little bit is like, why haven't you signed yet? Because DK Metcalf and George Pickens you got some pretty good receivers in those guys. Yeah. You got to figure out your run game. You got to figure out the offensive line. Defensively, overall, they can get better, but they're a good team. So this is by far Aaron Rodgers' best chance at making the playoffs and maybe getting a chance to go win a Super Bowl if he plays extremely well. The Vikings obviously have passed. They don't want you anymore. Maybe he's holding out hope. I just don't understand what's holding it up, but they should be excited about this because you have Mason Rudolph, and nothing to be said bad about Mason Rudolph, but if you can get a future Hall of Fame quarterback, even for a year, you should be excited about it.
The excitement, though, is what worries me, fellas. Viewers at home, I would temper my excitement because what are you getting excited for? Like, I could be excited to have Aaron Rodgers over Mason Rudolph, but I can't be excited to have a quarterback who's 14-21 in his last 3 seasons. There's no excitement there. I can't be excited about a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers who only won 5 games last year. Right now, Aaron Rodgers' name is bigger than his game. The excitement is actually what's going to lead, I believe, to Steelers fans' demise, to your demise if you draft Aaron Rodgers on your fantasy football team. The excitement's actually going to be the problem. I was thinking about it driving into work. If the Steelers would have signed Russell Wilson, they probably wouldn't have been that excited. But over the last 3 years, if you compare Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers, both have been a part of a couple different franchises, y'all tell me who's better. And even if you want to still suggest that Aaron Rodgers is better just because you want to give him the benefit of the doubt for whatever reason, clearly he's not substantially better, though statistics would suggest Russ has a better win-loss record, Russ has more passing yards a game, Russ has just as good, if not better, a touchdown-interception ratio, and Russ has a better passer rating. So if you wouldn't have been excited about Russell Wilson, which obviously Mike Tomlin was not, why would you be excited about Aaron Rodgers? Because of what Aaron Rodgers did with James Jones in 2011? Or maybe because of what Aaron Rodgers did right around the time of COVID. Mind you, we're over 5 years away. Why would you be excited about Aaron Rodgers? That's where I'm at. Let's not let the name conflate the idea that Aaron Rodgers' game hasn't been elite. It's been good. It's been good. Nobody will knock that. But it hasn't been elite.
Yeah, and that COVID, my Tampa team, we spanked on them, though. Yeah, we spanked on them. They had the number 1 seed, too, though.
They were?
But they always had number 1 seed. They always
course.
lose. Yeah. But that's a great take, because I was feeling the same way. I've been saying that Russ and Rock, they're the same, for real. One brother's a little darker, one brother's a little lighter, right? Now, I will say this, though. The Steelers should be excited.
Thank you.
I mean, for God's sakes, the quarterbacks today, right, as we speak, is Mason Rudolph. I mean, and Skylar Thompson, right? So if I'm a Steelers fan, I have no type of hope for that. What are we going to do with this? And then Aaron Rodgers, you see, our highest paid wide receiver come over here, Metcalf, and they're throwing. So that's something to be excited about. And I always try to get some good and some bad, right? Because that's the name of the game, man. When it's some bad, try to find some good. And I do think that the Steelers, right, when they lost Russ, I'm like, what are they going to do now? And now if you bring Aaron Rodgers in there, I do think they can go to the playoffs. I do think they can win 10 games because they did it before with Russ. So I have some optimism about, Aaron going over there, but I just, at this point, we talk about Aaron Rodgers so much like he's the old Aaron Rodgers, and he's not.
Yeah.
So, yes, Steelers fans should be excited to have a legit quarterback as a starter, but that's all you really can say. If you really watch him the last couple of years, either other than him getting hurt, he won 5 games, gentlemen. That's what really happened.
Yeah.
As much as we love to say how much a great player he is, his resumes, this and that and the third, it's impeccable. I get all that. But if we talk about today, right now, he don't win games. He don't elevate the team. When we talked about the Jets and they made that move, everybody loved it. Even myself, like, wow, even though Aaron hasn't been great this last couple years with the Packers, you bring that Aaron Rodgers with this type of team, with this type of defense, with some of them skilled players on offense, they might have a chance.
Yeah.
And then it happened. And then 5 wins happened. So as much as we on paper, we look at something, we love it, we got to look at reality, man. And reality is Aaron Rodgers today is not the old Aaron Rodgers of the past.
And in reality today, to your point, because I would agree, like, big picture, the Steelers fans should temper their excitement. But they should be more pissed off about how they even got to this point in the quarterback carousel in the process. Like, so let's just take that for what it's worth. But you have to be excited about Aaron Rodgers because, the quarterback's left out there. Do you want Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco?
Rodgers, of course.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, which you're not sure about injury?
Rodgers.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers or do you want a rookie quarterback?
Rodgers.
There's my point. And I think that Steelers fans understand it because Rodgers might be a little washed up, might not have this, that, and another that we're saying up here. But as it stands today, the Steelers have walked themselves into a situation where they have to rely on Rodgers. They don't have another choice right now to help them at least get back to the playoffs.
Now, isn't it, though, fellas, a shame? Again, Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches of this generation, but isn't it a shame that the Steelers have lowered their expectations at quarterback play so much so that we have to get excited about a 14-21 over the last 3 seasons, Aaron Rodgers? Like,
that's the
to me,
conversation.
it is shameful, James Jones, that you are now sitting here on April 1st with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson as your starters, and that's no April Fool's joke. So to me, it's a shame that you're at a point in your life as a Steelers franchise where we're not getting excited about a 29-year-old Aaron Rodgers, nor a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. We have to get excited about a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off of one of the worst seasons in his NFL career. To me, that's what's more disappointing than anything.
Yeah, number one, they should be extremely excited, even if those other dudes was included. You jumping up and down, Sam Darnold signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you super juiced it.
No.
You know, you jumping up and down if they miraculously sign Justin Fields back.
No.
You jumping up and down. You jumping up and down if they get Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So what we jumping up and down for? You're not jumping up and down for that neither.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if even with those quarterbacks included,
That's a good point.
To be honest with you, to me, Aaron Rodgers is the one you probably can get the most excited about. Whether it's the numbers, whether it's the stats, whatever it is, he's probably the one that
It comes with the most
we got
excitement.
a solid chance.
Yeah.
Them other ones, ain't a lot of excitement in that neither.
Well, speaking of excitement, I think there's nothing more excitement than a first-round quarterback, let alone a first-round quarterback that comes from the lineage of Deion Sanders. Shedeur Sanders likely will still be on the board at the number 3 overall pick. Remember, Tennessee Titans, many are assuming, will take Cam Ward. At number 2, the Cleveland Browns. They may take Shedeur, but they also might take star pass rusher Abdul Carter. That's who they met with last week. Jimmy Haslam, amongst others, which leaves the New York Giants at the number 3 overall pick. But general manager Joe Schoen, he said something fascinating. He said, hey, they're not going to force themselves to take a quarterback. Remember, the New York Giants, they got Russell Wilson, $10.5 million guaranteed. They got Jameis Winston, I think a 2-year, $8 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. So the Giants have depth at quarterback. There is a chance, Shady McCoy, that the Giants pass on Shedeur Sanders at number 3, even because they currently have quarterbacks. But would they regret it?
That would be a bad, bad move. Now, Joe done did enough bad, right? Now, one thing I learned about this thing, and I've been, I'm in my book.
Yes,
right?
sir. Good book.
And I don't want to make this a biblical thing.
But preach if you got to preach, Shady McCoy.
Once you make one sin, right, you got to repent because you don't make another sin. Joe, if you pass on Shedeur Sanders, that's 2 sins, brother.
2 sins.
And we all want to get to heaven.
Amen.
And you can't get there if you keep sinning, Joe, so don't do it.
Oh, so you say the first sin was Saquon.
Oh, my God. Was it not?
Okay.
I mean, was it not?
That might be the unforgivable.
I mean, dog.
Blasphemy.
You know what I mean? Even God was like, what are you doing? Listen, all I'm going to say is this, man, and I don't want to keep this a long thing with the Giants because I got a lot of love for Joe. Because Joe was in Buffalo with me, right? He's seen the greatest I was showing him over there. So I don't know why he's making this nonsense, okay? And then Brian Daboll's my guy. So, but real quick, with Shedeur Sanders, you have a legit elite quarterback in the making. And then you add him with a Hall of Fame starter like Russ. imagine a world where I can learn from a Hall of Fame quarterback. So even if I'm sitting there for the first, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, depending on how the season goes, I'm learning from Russ. And you talk about New York, let's be honest. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Niners, the Eagles, some of them teams, football is better when they're good.
Yeah, very
okay?
true.
And it's something to talk about. Come up here on a show talking bad about the Giants, that don't do nothing for the ratings. Mm-hmm. But talking on TV about the Giants when they're playing good, that's something big. Who can move the needle for the ratings?
Travis.
Shedeur Sanders. I'm being serious. You talk about the look, you talk about the swagger, good or bad, whatever it is, it gets you that attention.
It'll help him for sure.
And when he's on the field, we know he can ball. Yeah. New York's about the stars, man. Can we be honest here for a second? New York's about stars. Okay, so now if y'all playing well with a good quarterback, with good coaching, and the team is showing some promise to be good in the future, that's what you need. Yeah. Imagine the Shedeur leading the Giants right against the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. Like, they'll big the whole thing up. Yeah. Right? I'm thinking about the bigger picture. I know everything you want to talk about is X's and O's, and X's and O's is a big thing. But if you get some X's and O's and win games, right, with good football, and you got a superstar, bona fide quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, moving that needle, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about coming here on a Monday, can't wait to talk about it. Because every sports station is going to talk about a superstar quarterback in New York. It's been a long time since we had that. Imagine Shedeur was leading that playoff team with Saquon against the Vikings and they won. You know how big that would have been?
That's a good point.
But it was Daniel Jones, and nobody really cared to talk about him because we know who he is. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I guess it's a different situation because, you know, I come from a superstar family. You know what I mean?
Ringing?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
it's ringing. See, y'all might have different phones, but my phone, you see my phone.
Superstar phone.
Yo, Shady McCoy, superstar hotline. You're hot. 1 second. Oh! Yeah. So now that's Shedeur right there. So imagine Shedeur throws a game-winning touchdown, though, and then does that. Think about it. Think about
Not a bad take. It's not a bad take.
That's not a bad take at all.
No, it's a real take.
I'm torn on this one. What Shady just said was incredibly convincing. I love this show. I'm not going to lie to y'all people. Top of the morning to y'all. I don't think they will regret it so long as their draft pick hits. One of the most profound things I ever heard from a general manager, I didn't talk to GMs often unless they were cutting me. Sad story, we'll talk about it later. One of the most profound things I ever heard from a general manager, Chase, was, Acho, it doesn't matter who we miss on as long as the dude we take hits.
49ers.
True. Like, it doesn't matter.
Brock
They
Purdy.
were like, it don't matter. They were like, Hall of Famers could get drafted at every position before us and at every position after us. But so long as the guy we draft hits, it don't matter. Yeah. So I don't think the Giants are going to regret it so long as Travis Hunter, who I assume they will draft and should draft, hits.
Great player.
And I believe that Travis Hunter is the safest prospect to be good in this draft class. I don't know who's going to be a Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
I don't know who's going to be elite. But I think if you had to bank on somebody going to like 3 Pro Bowls, hey, Acho, you got to put $500,000 on somebody going to 3 Pro Bowls. Travis. I can't guarantee it's going to be Shedeur. I can't guarantee it's going to be Cam Ward. You see pass rushers stall out sometimes. Abdul Carter, he looks generational. But Travis, because of his position flexibility, because of his maturation, because of his elite athletic ability, he is the one I am most sure will be good. I don't think they'll regret passing on Shedeur, Chase, so long as the guy they drafted, Travis does.
I'm trying to figure this out. So if they draft Travis, he's going to play corner, right? And then some wide receiver. So I look at, a guy like Sauce Gardner, right? Probably Travis is better, bigger name, more athletic, but Sauce was a really good
first year.
All
right?
first
year.
They can get a sauce out of Travis Hunter. My goodness.
And what
I
did
know,
that,
that'd be amazing.
And what did that do for that franchise?
Not much. Nothing, actually.
You get what I'm saying? That didn't make a big difference. And I think Travis is the best player in this whole draft. But all I'm saying is that you go out to get a splashy, solid cornerback that make all pros first year. Cool, I'm cool with that. What does that do for your franchise?
That's a great point.
You get no quarterback.
That's a great point.
And that can move the whole team.
I feel you.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't argue with that.
And last thing, and if I'm going to buy season tickets, right? Because we talking about New York City, okay? Yeah. We buying season tickets are going to be expensive. What's going to make me come to that team and watch them? A lockdown cornerback?
Or a quarterback?
No. A bona fide superstar, right? That appeals to everybody culturally. They want to see that. I'm gonna put money to go see that.
There's no you can't lie about that. Now the counter could potentially be would they come see Russell Wilson because Russ is there, but I can't dispute what Shady McCoy
Yeah, and look,
saying.
ratings doesn't save your job. Like I love ratings, but Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, they need the best player available. They need to get better offensively, defensively, and right now that player is Travis Hunter. I would take the absolute best player available. If Travis Hunter is available, you pair him with Malik Neighbors, give Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston or whoever plays a chance to throw the football to him, and then you play him on the defensive side of the football. I think that positional value of quarterback so high, but we need to read between the lines here because teams that end up passing on quarterbacks, they're telling us, and we're going to see, April 25th, what happens is if they end up passing on quarterbacks, they're not ready to play because the Giants, they need a quarterback. Mm-hmm. The Browns, for everything we're hearing, they're taking Abdul Carter. They need a quarterback. It's going to tell you a lot about the not second tier, but the second, third, fourth quarterbacks in the draft if we see Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, all these guys dropping. So for me, I love ratings, and I think that's great. The Giants have walked themselves back into a corner here. The fact is they signed 2 veteran quarterbacks. And we know how you feel about Russ up here, Shady. And if he can play even remotely like he did in Pittsburgh, it's going to give the Giants some stability at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
To come in and to say a rookie quarterback in Shedeur Sanders is going to save that franchise, which that franchise needs saving. And I don't know if Brian Daboll or Joe Schoen get a year 2 in a Shedeur Sanders tenure. So if that's the reason, then I think you need to pass on Shedeur. I think you need to go out, you need to draft quite possibly an all-pro or Pro Bowl player year 1 and make your overall team better.
Do you think if they do that and go the way you said, get the best player on the draft, which is probably Travis, which is a great pick. You think the Giants, they win games? You think they win games?
I think Russ, they can absolutely win some games. And honestly, this was the other part of my point is you don't have to reach on a quarterback at 3. There's going to be some good quarterbacks available in round 2 or back at the year.
But you're going
round
star.
1.
You're going star.
Hold on.
Hold on. He's going star power.
Before we had
You can be a starter like Dak Prescott if you're drafted in the 4th round.
Star power.
No. Because hold up. So you saying that they could win now? We had this conversation.
That's what I was going to get at,
now.
but it's early.
Yeah, now. It ain't that early. I remember, because you remember. So you saying...
They can win more games with Russell Wilson at quarterback than Shedeur Sanders.
I'm just saying, can they win enough to keep the job? Because you said they can...
I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. Every year is different.
But Chase said it would take 8 to 9.
I think they need to make playoffs.
Yeah.
To keep their job.
So what I'm saying is, if you already feel like that, right? You feel like if Russ is the quarterback, whoever it is, well, let's use Russ, because you don't think. So if Russ is the quarterback, you don't think they're going to the playoffs, and they wouldn't.
No.
Right? So why?
I see what you're saying.
That was my point.
So Shady's kind of they're getting fired either way.
Yeah. Why not bring a dude in that somebody has, we want to come watch play?
I didn't say this, but say if they're already on the hot seat, Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll.
They already are.
Do you think that John Mara is going to let them pick a quarterback so high if they know they're not going to make the playoffs? And then this new head coach that comes in the next year and this new GM comes in the next year, that's a possibility. You got to be able to think no. You guys aren't drafting a quarterback this high because a first-round quarterback gets at least 3 or 4 years, and we don't know what this new head coach and this GM. That happens all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we don't know if they're going to even let them draft a quarterback,
and
especially at 3, because you can have. Sorry, before you go, you can have Travis Hunter play for the next decade.
Yeah, and
they can just go. A quarterback's completely different.
I understand everybody's points up here. Shady's point is really, really good.
Thank you,
right?
thank you, brother. Thank you.
If you turn in a ticket with Shedeur, ticket sales and everything, excitement goes up.
And he has a good quarterback too.
We don't know what he's going to be. We don't know what he's going to be. He could be a Pro Bowler. He could. Not be a Pro Bowler. I don't want to tag bust or none of that. Pause next to him, but he could not be good or he could be a superstar. We do not know. But what I do know is I am not drafting him if I ain't gonna be able to coach him. Exactly. Point blank period. If I'm Brian Daboll, I am sitting in my chair in my office right now selfishly. I have Russell Wilson, a guy that's capable of winning me games. I have won games with Daniel Jones at the quarterback spot. Not just regular season games. I have won a playoff game with Daniel Jones, strictly playing some good defense, right? A good run game, and my quarterback making a couple throws every now and then. Now I have a better quarterback in Russell Wilson. I am going to get some playmakers around him. If Travis Hunter is there, I cannot pass up Travis Hunter. I believe Travis Hunter and Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors and Tracy Jr. can help you win some games and help you save your job. I believe that. Because if you draft Shedeur and Shedeur struggles and he goes like this, which he probably will because that's what a lot of rookies do at the quarterback spot, you're not going to be able to have your job to be able to coach. The GM and the head coach is gone. I am putting my team in the best situation to compete right now. What does that mean? Is that 7 wins? Is that 10 wins? I don't know. But I'm going to give my team the best chance in training camp to go compete and win some games.
Yeah, well, when we return, we know the quarterback, Brock Purdy, gives the Niners the best chance to win. But right now, the contract is at a impasse, you could suggest. Hey, is it too early to panic on Brock Purdy's contract situation? He wants Dak Prescott money. That's $60 million a year. The Niners, well, obviously, they don't want to pay that. Who's got more power? Is it panic time? That's next. Don't forget, check us out every day, Fox Sports Channel, Sirius XM. Happy April Fools!
This episode is brought to you by Honda. Introducing the all-new, all-terrain Honda Passport Trail Sport, the most off-road capable Honda Passport Honda has ever dreamt up. The Passport features increased ground clearance, roof rails on all trims, and available specially developed all-terrain tires. And you'll stay comfortable with tri-zone climate control and available features like heated and ventilated front seats and a panoramic moonroof. Learn more at honda.com/passport.
Brock Purdy said he wants a long-term extension sooner than later, and he deserves it, y'all. He's been to the Super Bowl. Remember his rookie year, he went to an NFC Championship game. If not for a torn elbow, might have beat the Eagles and gone to a Super Bowl then, too. Brock Purdy.
April Fools. That was a good one, dog. You almost caught them, not me.
Look, the general manager, John Lynch, he said yesterday that they've got to find the right place for both sides, adding, quote, hopefully it happens real soon this offseason. Chase, Brock Purdy's done a lot for the 49ers, but the Niners have also done a lot for Brock Purdy. Purdy wants his money. He wants Dak Prescott money, he said. Reports say he'll likely get about $10 to $5 million less than Dak Prescott. Is it too early to panic over the impasse they're at?
No, it's April 1st. April Fool's Day. We didn't know. Last time we checked, I think we play a game September the 4th. So I got a feeling this is going to get done around draft or maybe right after draft. I don't think the 49ers want to go into this season similar to what they did last year, and that was contract issues with Trent Williams and contract issues with Brandon Ayuk. You know you have your franchise quarterback. You also know you have leverage over him. You also know that your franchise quarterback wants $60 million a year. Where is an equal ground? $52 to $55 million a year. That, to me, makes the most sense for Brock Purdy. Remember, Brock Purdy, as a rookie, was the third string. Okay, Mr. Irrelevant, led them to the NFC Championship game. The next year, the Super Bowl. This year, I agree, struggled, a lot of injuries. We know what his ceiling is with Kyle Shanahan. He's got to have good players around him. They got to build a team around him. And I think $52 to $55 million a year gives them that flexibility to do that. And quite honestly, with the cap going up to $300 million or close to it next year, this deal is going to look like a bargain in 2 or 3 years when we're seeing quarterback salaries skyrocket to $70 million a year. So I believe Brock Purdy, this is a good situation. And Shady talks about it a lot. He wants to see a market correction. I don't think a $55 million a year is a market correction. I think it's fair value. And I think a lot of these quarterbacks are getting above their fair value. The Trevor Lawrences, even Tua, and so forth and so on. I think $55 million a year is a really good deal for both the 49ers and both Brock Purdy.
That's well said. Go ahead,
I just feel like, man, it's some type of situation here, right? I don't know if it's a big one, but it's something. Because when you have a quarterback that takes you to the NFC Championship game, takes you to the Super Bowl, paying him should be easy.
Easy.
I don't care what people thought about Jalen Hurts, right, before he won the Super Bowl. But he took his team to the NFC Championship game, and he took his team to a Super Bowl. This is before he won. Yeah. And when he got his money, like, it wasn't a lot of chatter about it. You knew it was coming. You didn't know how much, and they got the job done, or the deal done because it was worth it. And I thought at the time that was a good market deal. As we sit back here and we look at all these other quarterbacks, right? So Josh Allen declined to be the highest paid quarterback under Dak Prescott, right? And most people would say, well, he should have been that. Right? But him and that team, if he wanted to, that team would have gave him that money over Dak because he's earned that and he's that good. When I look at Brock Purdy, to be honest, all the success that team has been at the heights of their level of competition, right? Super Bowls, NFC Championship games. I'll put that more on the team than Brock Purdy, right? And now if the team is not going to be the same like it was we were winning, why would we pay him that type of money? Because I'll tell you this much. I talk to a lot of head coaches. I talk to a lot of GMs, right? A lot of players. And if you ask a lot of them guys down in Miami, are you happy that you gave Tua that money? You know what they told you? They'll tell you this. They'll say, you know what, before we gave him that money, we were scratching our head a little bit, and it was tough. Situation how it is with Brock Purdy and the Niners. And I know they regret paying him that much money because at the end of the day, he's not really worth that. You could be a good quarterback and not be worth the money you're getting paid, right? That's why I talk about correcting the market. Let's go to Jacksonville, right? I don't know if you guys been there, but let's go to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence. He's the type of dude, right, where, first of all, when you're about to pay him that money, that type of money, you've been scratching your head, like scratching all the damage out that head, thinking about it, okay? And now that he got that money, do you think they regret paying him that money? Yes. It's time to make the quarterbacks accountable like you make every other position accountable. When it goes to paying top wide receivers and other positions, you pay it, but then you're thinking about it. Oh, you know what? Even though CeeDee Lamb might not be better than JJ, but their numbers are identical, he should jump over him. No other position does that. With the quarterback. So all I'm saying is, if you're Brock Purdy, right? No, if you're the Niners, you're thinking, will other teams go out there and pay him all this money? And I don't think so. They thinking the same thing we're thinking. Brock is great with a great supporting cast around him. So why are we about to pay him at the top of the market? I think around $48 to $50 million is good for him.
It's twofold. In part, I agree with Shady because of what Shady's saying. Kyle Shanahan makes quarterbacks.
Yes, he does.
Go look at the best season that any quarterback has had, whether it's from Robert Griffin to Matt Ryan, it was under Kyle Shanahan. Matt Ryan had a 12, 14-year NFL career, but his best season was with Kyle Shanahan. Matt Schaub, his best season, and not even close. Best season, Pro Bowl season, Matt Schaub with Kyle Shanahan. Jimmy Garoppolo, not even close. Best season, Kyle Shanahan. The dilemma I have, though, with what Shady is saying and the premise on which Shady's take is built is, more often than not, you regret the contract you give a quarterback. Outside of Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, and Joe, and now Hurts that he's won a Super Bowl, throw Stafford in there if you want. That's 6, 7 quarterbacks. Every other contract that has been given to a quarterback, you could suggest is regretful. The Dak Prescott contract, you could suggest is regretful. The Carson Wentz old contracts, you could suggest are regretful. Russell Wilson, the Broncos contract, you could suggest regretful. Deshaun Watson, that contract, you could suggest is regretful. Some contracts you could be indifferent on. Justin Herbert, you can be indifferent on that contract. Obviously, he's a little bit above 500. You could be indifferent on contracts. But outside of about 6 quarterbacks, just about every contract, in theory, based upon Shady's premise, you would regret, because if you're giving a quarterback $55, $60 million, you would hope for a Super Bowl in return, and only Patrick Mahomes and now Jalen Hurts.
Or look elite, though. Just look elite.
Yeah.
But it's only 6 of them who do.
Okay, so...
No, but when Deshaun Watson got that money, he
show the contracts.
was elite.
Now go ahead, Jay. Let's see the contracts, because I want to...
Show the contracts.
Because I hear what you're saying about regretful, but it's like, okay, like even Deshaun Watson, everybody named Mama, I'm okay with that. You know why I'm okay with that contract? Because everybody thought he was that great.
Everybody did.
So, I mean, you know, that didn't work out, but I'm okay with it. But some of these guys, let me take my shades off, these Cartiers, because it's hard to see. Like, come on, man. Like, I love Jordan Love. You think he deserves to be the, 4th highest paid quarterback?
Of course not.
Right? So you can regret that. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, next year he might be competing to be a backup. Tua is another one. One of the best receivers in football is questioning, can I get out of here? Because I can't win with the quarterback they paying. He's a top 5 paid quarterback. So you can regret some of these. Now, some of these guys, like Jared Goff, I won't regret that. Herbert, I mean, however you want to cut it from the wins, but talent-wise, he's up there. Yeah. Who else we got there?
Then you got Lamar and Jalen.
So everybody else you saying deserves that. My thing is with Brock Purdy, like you just talked about, Kyle wins with anybody. So if I have a backup quarterback, I mean, the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy, it should be a big gap, right? I don't know if it is if the team ain't right. Because when the team wasn't right last year, James, what did he do? When the team wasn't all souped up, what did he look like?
Regular.
He looked regular. Mm-hmm. So why the hell are we going to pay a regular-looking quarterback, not a regular quarterback, a regular-looking quarterback? Why are we going to pay him top of the market?
So of those, you said something interesting. Of those guys that was on the list of top paid, right? Tua, Trevor, Jordan Love, Herbert. Those are all on the top paid quarterbacks, okay? Their playoff records are combined 2 and 4.
Man, see.
Brock Purdy is 4-2 in the playoffs, has taken you to a Super Bowl, has taken you to an NFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. So everything you said, you just look at the record. They've won with Brock Purdy. You one bad year with everyone hurt all of a sudden, right? Like I would agree that Trevor, Jordan, Herbert, maybe not two are better throwers of the football, but what do they get paid? Those are regretful a little bit contracts you're paying for. How about paying for 4-2 record?
Yeah.
Like that matters. And 48 to 50 is so disrespectful in my mind because Brock Purdy's more than doubled those guys' playoff wins.
Collectively, yeah.
Collectively.
Yeah, but tell him why, James. Please tell him why. Tell him why.
Really quick, though, I think the main thing right here, right, because I think Shady and Acho's over there, they talking from the coaches and the GM standpoint of it.
Right.
Which is smart, right? I'm going to talk from Purdy's standpoint of it. Because y'all can say whatever you want to say, and Justin Herbert could be better than me, and Tua could be better than me, and he could throw the ball better than me. Trevor Lawrence, taller than me, faster than me, arm better than me, throw with better anticipation than me. I have took you to the NFC Championship and Super Bowl and played at a high level. And we can sit here and say that I was the best player on the football team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I played at the highest level in the Super Bowl. So all these numbers and all that type of stuff with the money and all that, y'all could discuss that. You know, I'm going to ask for what I'm going to ask for, but y'all could discuss all that. Brock Purdy has earned the right to get paid. The San Francisco 49ers is a good organization, in my humble opinion. Don't mess around and be a bad organization, right? And I understand the numbers have to be right, but you just traded away and released everybody for what?
Yeah.
To pay them.
You understand what I'm saying? So you continue to get up here and say to the people, we got our guy. He's our guy. He's perfect for our system and all. So why mess around? And I agree with Shady. I believe the numbers should not be up there with the Dak Prescotts and the Josh Allens and all that type of stuff. I believe the numbers should be right, but don't mess it up. Hurry up and find a way to get your quarterback signed because, to be honest with you, your quarterback, in my humble opinion, has really kept y'all's jobs. And I understand how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is and how good of a GM you could say John Lynch is, but you traded away a house and a home and a Bentley and a car and everything for a quarterback that was not good.
Can I ask you a question?
And you are supposed to be the quarterback guru, and you didn't change him. And this dude came in with the last pick in the draft and took you to an NFC Championship and a Super Bowl.
Right.
Do right by him, give him his bread, and do right by the organization because you just traded away all the players.
Can we ask you a question?
Talk to me.
So trading all the way all them players, right?
For what?
For what? Whatever it may be. Do you think that he could carry a team now?
I don't think he could carry a team. That's why I'm with you on the number.
Okay, so that's my thing. You talking about everything you did in the past. So when I got paid, how it works is you get paid a little bit of money for what you did, right, to get to this point. Now we paid our guy. What's he going to do going forward? Because if you was all-pro before we got the money, I need all-pro after the money.
Correct.
That's what your boy did. So I'm asking you, Jay, because that was a great breakdown. You did it both sides. Like in court, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's on your side. This ain't court. This ain't court. What I'm asking you is, now that you gave away everything, you don't feel like he can just carry them boys back to Super Bowl, right?
Not with nobody, no.
There's four.
That's what I'm saying. Then another thing you said,
But
you said that he was the best player on the field.
In the Super Bowl.
On offense.
Yeah.
Cool. But we can say out of the majority of the superstars on that team on defense and offense, you probably the most replaceable out of most of them guys, correct? If I had to take somebody out and put somebody in there, it's Brock Purdy. Because the thing is, this is why I say that. When I look at the Niners team, every year I say, oh, they definitely going back to the NFC Championship game. They're too good, and they're coached too well. Okay, they're still coached too well, but now they're not too good. What's going to be the difference maker? Because if I pay you that money, are you good enough?
This is my comeback.
To elevate a team, you can't do it.
Because you're the organization. I'm Purdy now, right?
Okay.
Why did you pay Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Because he's talented and he can throw the ball. Because he ain't accomplished what I accomplished winning-wise and all that. Why did you pay Tua? Why did you pay Jordan Love that much money? Why did you pay Josh Allen all that money? I mean, Jared Goff all that money.
So we playing this game?
But I'm Purdy, though. That's the game.
And if I say, yo, so they're more talented than you.
But they ain't been
They haven't showed anything.
How many quarterbacks, seriously though, how many quarterbacks would love to play with a situation like that?
All of them, of course.
Yeah, you gotta
So my thing
have
is,
a good team around.
You just talked about how great Kyle Shanahan was and the things he's done for all our quarterbacks. A lot of them guys in that quarterback, like Jordan Love is a prime example because they beat Jordan Love, correct? I think if Jordan Love played with the Niners, he probably would do better than Brock Purdy, correct?
I believe Jordan Love is a more talented quarterback than Purdy. Yeah.
What I'm saying is when you have a team full of all-stars like that, I don't have to do as much.
That's something we'll never know.
But how not? Because no. Before you go, that's not true. We just seen it this year when your defense wasn't as good as they used to be. Okay?
A lot of injuries.
And they wasn't stopping everybody like they used to stop.
Yep.
Cool. They're not as scary as they used to be scary.
Yep.
And then on offense, when we don't have all these great players around me, what did he look like, James?
Nobody carries.
Nobody
carries.
That's my point.
But can we answer that?
But everybody looks regular like that outside of Pat, Josh, Lamar, and Joe.
No, that's less. No, this doesn't. Shady's point is like, well, can he carry your team to a Super Bowl? He doesn't have to. He has to be a piece of it. There's two
What
guys.
about this playoffs?
Listen.
What about this playoffs?
Listen, there's two guys right now that can say, I have carried my team to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Everyone else, no. Josh Allen, guess what? For as good as he's been, he has not carried his team to the Super Bowl.
We're not talking about Super Bowl.
Listen, that's what you said.
No.
You
I said no. I said playoffs. I said when
he's proven that he can.
Let me hold up. Let me just break this down quick because y'all confusing the people. Don't confuse. I don't want to confuse the people. What I'm saying is when the offense and the defense is not as great as it used to be for the Niners.
Sure.
Niners have had a top 3 type roster for the last.
Has not shown he could carry.
Okay. So now when the roster ain't the same
He only had 1 year to do that.
He's had 1 year and everyone was hurt.
Keep going, Cook.
When the roster's not that good on defense and the roster's not that good on offense, now we got to look at the quarterback because the only position in football that can elevate a team is the quarterback position. Okay, boom. Let's move on real quick. So now that the offense defense is not the same, what does you look like? Regular that you didn't get to the playoffs.
Here's my dilemma, though. Real quick, throw the full screen of the highest paid Q back on there. Throw the Q. Because here's the dilemma with what Shady is saying. Can Dak carry a team with everybody maligned to the playoffs? No, he didn't do it. Josh, check. Joe Burrow didn't do it just this last year, and Jamar was still out there.
Joe Burrow can do it, though.
But Joe's done it. But he didn't do it this last year, and he didn't do it the year before with injury. So I can't even suggest that he can.
Wow.
Can Jordan Love do it? I haven't seen Jordan Love with a completely maligned team, so TBD, I'll leave that alone. Trevor Lawrence obviously cannot do it. Tua Tagovailoa has proven that he cannot do it. Can Jared Goff do it? No, because don't get it twisted. Jared Goff had some bad seasons in Detroit even before he went to the playoffs these last 2 years. Can Goff do it? No. Herbert has already proven he can't do it. They went 8-9 before the last year when everybody was out there hurt. Lamar can do it, and Jalen Hurts, TBD, we haven't really seen.
We talking about playoffs, though, right? I'm not saying.
I'm saying playoffs.
So wait.
That can't get you to the playoffs.
Hold on.
Yep.
So we seen Joe Burrow take his team to the playoffs.
And the Super Bowl.
You said with everybody hurt and people hurt.
No. I didn't say. All I'm saying is that when the team is not as good, I'm not saying all hurt. I'm saying when the team is not as good. Like the Niners this year won't be as good as they used to be.
Of course.
And I don't think Brock Purdy is a type of dude that's going to take him everywhere.
If the Bengals had to choose to trade away their number 2 wide receiver in T. Higgins, like the 49ers got rid of their number 2 in Deebo Samuel, Joe Burrow's not going to the playoffs, bro. Unfortunately, I love Joe.
I don't know, man.
He didn't do it this last year, 2-5. See, the backup receiver gave you 10 ting-tings. Yeah. Jamar Chase balled and Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks.
But to say he can't do it.
That's crazy.
And if we had to bet money on this is
but
crazy.
I'm suggesting that if
I'm going to put Joe Burrow, I'm not going to disrespect Joe Burrow.
If we're saying if we're saying Brock Purdy can't do it based off one season.
I think the main thing in this whole conversation, because all these quarterbacks on this list are good quarterbacks. Now, the number of the money and all that, you can discuss that, right? But it was their time up, and they got their money. They're good quarterbacks. But I think the main thing right here that we're kind of missing is a lot of these quarterbacks up here got paid for talent. We're not paying Brock Purdy for talent. We're paying Brock Purdy because he wins.
Correct.
And the reason why he wins, like Shady said, is because of the team around him. Because he hasn't shown us that he can win without the team around him. So you're paying him because he's a winner. You're not paying him because he walks into the building and you're like, yeah, that's him. You see, you're not paying him because of that. Jordan Love and all that, you're paying, man, you see the way he throw the ball? You're paying him because of that. I think what's frustrating with Purdy is we're sitting up here saying, pay him because he wins, but we have not seen him elevate a team. But I'm sitting over here with Purdy, and I don't care what y'all think about me. I'm winning.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And you can slice and dice that however you want.
Scheme.
It's so easy to win over the Niners. That team is like that. Come on, man, stop.
Yeah, but
I got to take us to break.
Can I ask you, is he, real quick though, because I have an issue with people getting paid elite money that's not elite. That's the only thing, man. And y'all won't say he's elite, right?
He's not an elite talent. He's not an elite talent. The dilemma I think we're all having is he elite
why
winner
does it matter
versus
if he's not an elite talent?
Why
does it matter?
Matters.
Why? He's a freaking
We're just talking about quarterback. Is he an elite quarterback?
Your job is to win football games.
That's the thing. If he's an elite winner,
he's done it.
But the difference between winning quarterbacks,
who cares about elite talent and elite superstar at this and that? It does not matter.
But nobody said Jimmy G's elite. Jimmy G won. So why are we? I'm trying to figure out how we switch.
They feel a lot better about this guy because they're about to pay him $55 million.
He went to NFC championships.
But eventually, like Shady said, Brock Purdy wasn't, and like you said, Purdy wasn't a weak link in the Super Bowl.
No.
In the Super Bowl, you could suggest Jimmy G's missed to Emmanuel Sanders.
All I'm saying is that
They win
The
it.
quarterback's the only position where you pay elite dude, and I'm not talking about going to the market. I'm talking about you with the team. Only position where you could pay an elite guy, though, right? And not be elite. You get what I'm saying? Like, that don't bother
Because it's the most important position.
But I'm all about earning, though.
Shady's point
You gotta
is
earn that, though. Because but real quick.
But they think he's elite in their
all
That's what I'm saying.
They don't think he's that elite because they didn't pay him like that. And to be real
We don't
with you,
know what he's paid
and to be
yet.
real, and to be real with you, they really did him a favor. You was a seventh rounder. What was he? He was the last pick in the draft, though. And we surround you with all type of great players, great offensive line, great
Purdy's
defense.
winning. Purdy
wins in that system.
Purdy winning.
All I'm thinking is, if I'm paying elite money, if I pay you elite money, I should be able to drop you anywhere, and that's just the production. Not no system.
I don't agree with that at all.
That's real. That's real. That is real.
That's not true, though.
That's not true.
He's a system guy.
Hey, speaking of breaking news in the NFL regarding the tush push. It's the most important play for the most important team in the NFL. We have breaking news. Remember, they want to ban it. After the break, I'll tell you exactly where the most important play to the most important team, the most important sport in our country stands.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Hey, we got breaking news here, people. The tush push has not been banned for now. A report says NFL owners have tabled the proposal to ban the tush push. What we're hearing is it may be discussed at the meetings in May, where then it could either be passed or, once again, it could be banned. Chase, you said that, what, 16 teams?
So, yeah, this is what Jordan Schultz, our Fox insider, said, right? Sources, there were 16 teams who were in favor of banning the tush push, 8 short of the amount needed for the proposal to pass.
Yeah, it takes 24 teams to ban it. It did not pass. Shady, your thoughts?
So wait, hold on. Is that all the teams?
There has to be 24 teams.
What I'm saying is all.
That's the thing. I don't think everybody voted.
Unless they abstain.
Correct.
Which I don't think.
So that's the final?
No, it's put to. They postponed.
That ain't good.
No, it is not good for the Eagles. That's not good at all.
That's so weak, though.
You got to get 8 more teams.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's.
I agree.
Dog, if you can't stop it, you want to ban it?
I agree.
We football players.
I heard something today that made me finally say, you know what? The tush push could be banned. And I stood with this. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things, but the thing I love the most, Raheem Morris, head coach for the Atlanta Falcons, he said something y'all should hear or look at it. He said, I don't like to play for what I have to do to stop it. Then it made me think, again, y'all sitting at the desk, 35 years of offensive NFL experience, but I'm a defender. What you have to do to stop the tush push is now why I can say, you know what, I don't like to play. For this reason, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But the action that the offense gets to do, the reaction is penalized. Offensively, Shady McCoy can get behind Jalen Hurts and he can push him forward. But if I, as a defender, grab somebody off the pile, what is that? Boop, that's a penalty. So you can push, but I can't pull. Make that make sense.
Well,
Furthermore, in practice, I know, remember what they try to do now, you have a jumper, you have the dudes up top, and you try to grab the quarterback by the back of his jersey and you try to pull him, or you want to pull bodies off the pile. Offense can push, but the defense can't pull. To me, 1, that's problematic. 2, you can't execute a play until you practice it. You as a defense, you can't afford to practice the tush push. You just can't do it. I'm not going to say, all right, everybody huddle up, y'all get down. Hey, linebackers, jump. All right, on 3, down, ready, say hi. I can't afford to practice that play. So if I can't practice the play, how can I execute to stop the play? So when I saw what Raheem Morris said, finally as a defender, obviously as a former Eagle, I'm all for the tush push, run all the tush pushes and win all the games. But as a defender, I'm like, I can't stop the play based upon practice, number 1. And number 2, y'all can push, but I can't pull. You got to make that make sense.
Help me understand this, because I believe it's the softest thing ever. And I sit up here kind of disappointed that the Packers even started this stuff.
Yeah, that's your boys.
You know what I'm saying? But So you mean to tell me that just because you can't stop the play and you don't want to practice the play, you want to ban the play? Since 1919, whenever the NFL started, the quarterback sneak, so-called the tush push.
That's different. Two totally different things.
Way different.
Two totally different things.
The
Quarterback sneak, leave it in. Tush push should be. Tush push
just
is
because somebody's pushing the guy
1,000%.
from the back. Pause.
We saw it in college. Remember, I think it was USC Notre Dame. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Reggie Bush.
So my thing, Acho, is why do we practice? Period. Then you practice and you go over. This is what the Eagles run. LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson.
We're not running this.
I'm talking about plays. Period. Whatever your favorite run play was, this is what we run. Why are you practicing against the plays? You got to try to find a way to stop it. That I don't like that. Practicing against the play.
I got a
practicing against
solution,
every play to stop the play.
So on offense, right, when you play against certain defenses, you have a coach that every day they do installments, right? You know, first down, second downs, you got third and longs, you got red zone, right? You got the goal line. Every week they do this. And there's certain teams like, hey, listen, guys, listen.
Come on,
we
man.
got to stay out of 3rd and 6 because they got some of the best blitz packages ever, right? Okay, because if we're in 3rd down and like 6 with the blitz package they have, we cannot beat them. Okay, cool. So that means that whole game plan, we got to stay between 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s, or 2nds and 1s to stay away from that blitz package. Same thing with the Eagles now.
Of course.
Now knowing that, okay, listen, this team is undefeated when it gets to 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. So that means on 1st and 2nd down, Acho, you cannot give up a 7 or 8 yard gain. Can't do it.
The dilemma is,
Can't do it.
Let's be real, and I don't want to say it, but let's be real. The tush push is a perversion of football. Every time you start anything, it can get perverted, right? You go to a Texas State Fair, Chase, I'm sure you've been there several times.
Yeah.
Why are there fried Oreos?
They're so good to eat.
Why are there burgers with donuts as a bun? It's just a perversion of food. Just because you can do it don't mean you got to be able to do it. The tush push is just a loophole found within the rules. Shout out to the Eagles for finding the loophole. They've won a Super Bowl in part because of the loophole that they have found. But eventually you correct the loopholes. Y'all know how you can rig games. Y'all know how you could rig music. Back in the day, we used to have LimeWire. I'm downloading all the music illegally. And then eventually, after you figure out the loophole, you stop the loophole. The tush push, it is the perversion of football. Eagles are savants. They're brilliant. They figured it out first. Now that they figured out, I'm not mad at the course correction.
I don't have an issue with it. I'm for the tush push, but everything I'm hearing out of the league meetings and every coach is saying, one, it's a rugby scrum. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's exactly like, okay, I get that, but it's within the rules right now, so you're able to do it. All right, the other thing that I say and that I've heard is that, hey, it's about player health and safety. Let me just tell you something. There is zero data right now that substantiates that claim. And I've talked to a high-ranking NFL doctor. There is no injury data. There is zero. That is just something that you're putting your flagpole on and you were saying, I'm holding on for dear life. They're talking about in the future, how are you going to ban a play for the future? Here's my issue, or here's my deal, okay? I'm for it. I think it should stay in the game. However, I would be happy if they ended up tweaking the language of the rule. And let me tell you this. So I don't even care that you push. You want to see more touchdowns. You want to see people go for it more on 4th down. I get that. People want ratings. How it'll give you ratings, okay? You can only use it in the play of field on 4th down. You cannot use it on 3rd and 1. If you get to 4th and 1, you can use it. The other thing that I want, inside the 2-yard line, you can't use it. It's too easy of a score, okay? You want to have touchdowns. You want to have goal line fades. You want to have running backs scoring touchdowns. You want to take away those touchdowns from quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Do that. I think that's where this thing is going to move to because I do think that it's a fine play. I do think tweaking the rules to make that more sustainable would make sense.
Can I ask y'all a question? This is embarrassing. The NFL's a copycat league, correct? Mm-hmm. If they watching Acho, the Philadelphia Eagles play defense, and they say, dang, the Colts got them on this play, we probably going to put the play in. Why can't nobody else do it, fellas?
Bills have tried. They just can't do it.
Why can't nobody else do it?
I don't know, James.
They're not good enough.
So you're banning a play because one team is dominant at something.
They're jealous.
Because it's not like, hey, man, it's not like the owners are saying the Eagles is the only one that can do the tush push. You're banned from doing the tush push. You got to run another play. You can do it too. You just can't stop the Philadelphia Eagles from doing it. Nobody in the National Football League, and now we want to try to get it banned. To me, that's terrible. To me, that's terrible because every team has a chance to look at the film like we've looked at the film many a times. We're going to line up in the same exact formation, run the same play. You know what? We're going to motion to this and run the same play.
Let me ask you
Every
this,
team has
James.
done that. So you can get into the same tush push and run it. Josh Allen is a big quarterback. You can. There's a lot of people can get it. They can't do it.
How great would the game of football be that everybody here played at the highest level, which is the NFL? Obviously, some played at higher levels than others, Shady being the Eagles Hall of Famer. How great would the game of football be if we saw 13 tush pushes a game? It's about 80 snaps on offense, 80 snaps on defense, 160 snaps. So if you take 15% of the snaps, and it's all tush pushes. Because remember how boring, and I think some of us watched the Eagles-Commanders game together. That was not a fun game. Not the Eagles blowing them out, shout out to the Eagles. But watching Frankie Louvu, number 4 it was for the Commanders, dive over the pile over and over and over and over and over again was not the point of the game. Football's about entertainment. Regardless of how much we want to keep it pure and for purists, it's about entertainment. So if we go watch the Eagles tush push their way in, then you go watch the Bills playing the Eagles tush push their way in, then you go back and watch the Eagles tush push their way in, it's ruining the entertainment of the game. And it's an entertaining game.
Fellas, we don't need to tweak the rules a little bit. We don't need to feel like it's boring because it's not. 130 million people watch the Super Bowl.
Sure.
That playoff game you're talking about against the Commanders, a lot of viewers watch that.
Sure.
The NFL is not boring at all. Tush push or not. I mean, it's one out of all the American sports, it's only the most watched sport.
Of course.
So it's never going to be boring. And the NFL is going to keep growing because it's the best sports figure we have here today.
Sure.
So I don't believe none of that. My thing is people are soft and they can't stop it, and that's why they mad about it.
Two things can be true, though.
Yeah,
but here's my thing.
The NFL ain't going to be.
But two things can be true, right?
Two things?
People can be soft. I think changing the rule is soft because nobody else can stop it.
Right.
And simultaneously, I think it would be smart to ban it. So I'm not disagreeing. Call them soft if you want to call them soft, but I understand it.
What about changing the rule? Do you want it completely gone?
The dilemma with what you're saying, because I understand the thought process is, but the dilemma is now what is the prerequisite to just saying, okay, so now you're going to say, but the dilemma is now you're outlawing plays at certain times.
Yeah,
there's no standard for that elsewhere. Like, there's no standard within the game of football where, like, hey, you can only run a Hail Mary if. But that exists, I think, in the UFL.
Onside kicks this year.
But that's special teams.
But still.
There's no standard for, like, hey, you can't run a goal line fade unless. That's my only pushback. It's like, okay, now you can only run plays at certain times. Because I hear what you're saying, but I'm like, what prerequisite does that say?
This one thing, though. Why are we about to touch a sport and mess with the rules? It's the best.
We mess with the rules
we
do it all the time.
Yeah, but this is.
We mess with them every year. We
y'all
change the rules of the game so much.
Yeah, but y'all talking about taking away play, not rules, plays. Plays is different from rules. You get what I'm saying?
We added to be able to push.
But what I'm saying,
they're able to take it away.
All I'm saying is that y'all trying to take away offensive plays. That's like saying we're gonna take away defensive plays. We're not doing that. All I'm saying is the best game in America, our best game is football, correct? Mm-hmm. Why would we touch that?
And you know what's crazy, though?
Now that I retired, right, and because I really didn't understand what, like, fans were. I mean, I knew I had fans. Obviously, I was, for, like, 6 years running, I was, like, top 3, top 4 highest jersey seller. But what I'm saying is, when I say about fans, I love to tell you, I got to let everybody know. Yeah. But anyway, when there's not football going on, people are so bored.
Of course.
Right? And the game that everybody, the NBA's on. The NBA's on. Right? You can watch LeBron. You can watch stuff. You can watch some dudes. People want to watch football. And y'all about to change the rules of the best sport moving?
Let me say this, because the Eagles ran a lot of plays off of that. Ran a goal ball to A.J. Brown. You ran a sweep. So, like, they started putting in stuff off of that because people couldn't stop that play. So we are saying one team is dominant at something, and the other teams are not dominant at something, and you're trying to take it away. Number two, We do take away a lot of stuff in the National Football League. But you know why? Because they say, hey, man, quarterbacks is getting hurt. We're hitting them too low. It's injury stuff and all that stuff behind it. But it's no injury stuff behind us. It's just you cannot stop it. And it's only one team dominated in it. And now you got 31 other teams. Well, I won't say 31 other teams because they're 16 vote again. But you got other teams that's trying to ban it because it's a dominant play in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can I give you my theory?
Soft, man.
Can I give you my theory? I think my theory is this.
Stop it.
They mad that Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl MVP, and he gets a lot of his touchdowns off the tush push, and they're trying to stop Jalen Hurts.
That might be the truth.
Come on now. That's what it is. A second round quarterback is one of the best in the league, and they can't stand it.
Hey, one of the most exhilaratingly boring games
That's what it
ever
is.
watched was the Lakers game last night. It was the most exhilarating, low-scoring, unexciting, super exciting, boring, enthralling game you could witness. The Lakers got a dub. Have they put the concerns to rest? What did they prove? They beat the 2-seeded Rockets.
Hey, they ain't slick, dog. And he's a brother.
Today, the beverage aisle looks a lot different than it used to. America's beverage companies are working together. We're delivering the options everyone wants. In fact, nearly 60% of beverages Americans buy have zero sugar. You'll find more variety than ever, including more of your favorites, now available with zero sugar. You'll also find more sizes and clear calorie information on the front of every can, bottle, and pack. We know when it comes to finding balance, the more choices, the better.
It was an odd game. Dorian Finney-Smith, he led all scorers with 20 points, along with Gabe Vincent, 20 points. When I tell you all it was an odd game, it might be the weirdest basketball game you would have seen all season. Lakers, they found a way to get it done. Luka had 20, but like I said, Dorian Finney-Smith had, I think it was a season-high 6 made threes. Gabe Vincent had a season-high, I think it was 6 made threes. It was an odd game, but the Lakers still got it done. Fascinating to me, though it was an odd game, it might have been the best game the Lakers have played under the Luka LeBron tenure. And it might have been the best game because you found a way to win ugly. You found a way to win different. You found a way to win unimpressive, but most importantly, you found a way to win. Rockets are a 2-seed. They might not be a Goliath type of 2-seed, but a 2-seed nonetheless. Lakers, you found a way to win when LeBron didn't score 20. Luka didn't score 30. Reeves, he only had 4 points in the first half. You found a way to win when Jackson Hayes had 3 points. You found a way to win when Dorian Finney-Smith coming off the bench and Gabe Vincent coming off the bench, they were your leading scorers, 20 points each. That's how you found a way to win, but what's most important and most impressive, they did find a way to win. So, Shady, it was an incredibly weird game. I feel bad for anybody who bet on the game. Hi, feel bad for myself. Incredibly weird game, but a win nonetheless, 2-5. What you make of it?
I just think, man, that they're just getting ready for the playoffs, right? I mean, they've been losing some games. They finally got a win here. And then don't sleep on the Rockets. They a fast little young group, right? I think they don't have the names, so you don't really hear about them, but I don't know if you ever play in the gyms and you got them tall, lanky, athletic, fat. They go up and down that court. That matters, though. So get this win, and the way they won is having your role players. I think because we all talk about the big names in the playoffs, but you're going to need them, obviously. But you're going to need some of them role players. You're going to need Gabe Vincent come in there and hit some trays, right? Gabe Vincent hit some trays when you need them. You're going to need some of that stuff. So I like what they're doing. And I think also, man, just getting more comfortable. Like, people forget that Luka and LeBron, they just got together, right? And then LeBron gets hurt, so you miss some games like that. They're going to be good in the future, man.
Pace and defense. That's how the Lakers are a dominant basketball team. When Luka first got there, it was a lot of dudes. We came up here, it was a lot of dudes getting wide open shots. And we like, man, if they can get them wide open shots, they're going to be scoring 20 points a game, making all these buckets. When the Lakers play defense and they get out in the fast break and they play with pace, they are unstoppable because Luka's a super creator, LeBron is a super creator, and you get shots like we are seeing. And when you're an NBA player and you get wide open shots, you are going to make those shots more than you miss them. The Lakers held them under 100 points. They ain't did that in the last 10 games. Yeah. They had 12 fast break points, so they was getting out and they was running. If they can play like that, they are a really good basketball team, and I think they can beat anybody.
But real quick, to run, how do you get to run in basketball?
Got to get stopped.
Got to play defense. You play defense, get the run.
Under 100 points.
When the Lakers are healthy and playing at a high level, I think they're title contenders, legitimate title contenders. And let's make no mistake about it. This Rockets team, they're good. This was only their second loss in the last 14 games. They might not have any major name closers like the Lakers do, but they're a good team. And when you can go and win a game when Luka, when LeBron, and when AR have less than 50 points, when they had 85 the night before, that's a good sign. That tells me your role players are finding comfort not only in the scheme, but also scoring points defensively, like James Jones said. That was a little bit of an issue. In March, they were giving up 117 points per game. But when you can win a game like this, and you say it's ugly, you say it's not fun, it's a win. They're one game back from the 3 seed. So when your 3 players don't play your best and you can still beat a number 2 seed, good sign for the Lakers.
Incredibly fascinating game the Lakers played last night. It was super late up. Obviously, we over here on the West Coast, so we got to watch it, even though we had to wake up at 5 a.m. for this show. Hey, when we return, it's time to go around the facility, my favorite part of the show. 3 different spots, 3 different conversations. Very quick, talking about your favorite players, the biggest storylines, the most important stories you have to hear. It's the facility. People, put a smile on your face. It's another good day.
Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse April 3rd, only on Netflix.
What's up, family? It is time to go around the facility. 3 different topics, 3 different conversations, 3 different fellas, starting it off with James Jones. CeeDee Lamb is clearly the number 1 wide receiver, James Jones.
That is a fact.
Dallas. However, their executive, Stephen Jones, said they're open to looking for an explosive number 2 that could upgrade that offense. Who should the Cowboys target at wide out?
Hire me, Dallas Cowboys, because the kid you should go get is Kyle Williams out of Washington State. Listen, I watched this tape just last week, and I'm like, it ain't 5 dudes better than him in the draft. It ain't them 5 receivers, and I heard his name up there with the top 5, but there's nothing the kid can't do. He plays in the slot, he plays outside, but not only that, with the ball in his hands, he is a dog. So the quick screens, getting the ball out of Dak Prescott's hands, getting the ball into his hands, he's a dog. And then releases and routes. You cannot play the game of receiver if you do not have releases and routes. Go watch Kyle Williams play this game. He had 14 tink-tinks and almost 1,200 yards last season because of his route running and his ability to create separation and with the ball in his hands.
Are you thinking later on in the draft, 2nd round, 3rd round?
Gotta be 2nd. I don't think the young bull's gonna be there after the 2nd round. You're not getting him in the 3rd. He can run. He's low 4.4s. He can run. He is not gonna be there after the 2nd. So 2nd round, go get him, pair him with CeeDee Lamb, get him with Dak Prescott. He's a kid that can do everything on the football
Let me ask
field.
you though, is it risky? Obviously the receivers we've seen dominate as of late. Doing this off top of my head, may omit some. You got the LSU wide receivers. You got the Ohio State wide receivers. Xavier Worthy out of Texas. You do not see a ton of Wazoo wideouts for several reasons. Wazoo was left conference-less, number 1, didn't play a very grueling schedule, and offensively, Wazoo runs a completely Washington State, completely different style of offense that benefits wide receivers.
Yeah, and you don't see a lot of San Jose States. You don't see a lot of Fresno States, Devontae Adams. You don't see a lot of Western Michigan, Greg Jennings. The boy can play.
Got it.
Turn the tape on, see what he does. He can play. You see him at the X, you see him at the Z, you see him at the zebra in the slot, and you see him with this ball in his hands. He's special, Acho.
If you can play, you can play.
Yo, you don't want to some guy from Pitt?
Pitt do got wideouts too, man.
And running back.
Yeah.
Hey, well, enough about Pitt. Let's talk about the Patriots. Head coach Mike Vrabel, he said that Travis Hunter is a 2-way star, but I think there's some things he can improve on by concentrating on just one position. He went on to say he's not throwing any shade at Travis Hunter. Shady, should Travis focus on being extremely dominant at just one position, or should he do both?
Real quick, Vrabel said a lot of great things about Travis Hunter. He said, haven't seen a player like him.
Correct.
But that's just obvious, though. You know why? Because if one player just decides to stick on this defense, right, I'm only going to worry about cornerbacks. Watch the corners, learn techniques. He'll be better at that.
Yeah.
I think flip-flopping, he won't be excellent at everything, but he'll be really, really good. But I'll just say this, man. A guy this great, this special, don't dim his light. If he can play offense and be an all-pro offense wide receiver, let him do that. And if he can be a generational lockdown quarterback, let him do both. You know why? Because it benefits your team. I think anybody that drafts Travis Hunter, if you don't let him play both ways, you're cheating yourself. Coaches always say that, hey, you're cheating yourself. Well, coach, if you don't let number 12 from Colorado, the best player in the draft, play both ways, you're cheating yourself. because he is so good. He might go to your team and be your best wide receiver.
I don't know if I believe that, Shady. If you remember, if you was running suicide and you ain't touched the line, and coach would be like, "You're cheating yourself." Well, coach, I cheated myself today, then, coach.
I mean, some gotta cheat sometimes.
With all due respect, coach.
Just not in relationships. All right, don't cheat in relationships, dog. Seriously, I don't play that. I got a daughter. None of that. All right. Hey.
All right, heading up to the death.
Why didn't the camera stay on
the
him?
Quarterback. Chase, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, they have continued to be in talks, but a deal has not been done yet. Mike Tomlin said they're comfortable with the current quarterbacks on the roster. Starter right now, Mason Rudolph. Hey, is it Aaron Rodgers or bust for the Steelers?
I don't think so. You wouldn't be able to tell that from Mike Tomlin yesterday, though, when he was sweating. He was sweating profusely. First of all, why are you wearing a long sleeve in Florida? Don't do that. But no, look, they would prefer Rodgers. Rodgers was their number 3 option. Okay, Russ was their 4. Sam Darnold was up there. Justin Fields. You didn't hit on any of those guys, but luckily for you, there's a guy down in Atlanta named Kirk Cousins. He's going to become available. It's going to be between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers from Kirk Cousins if you don't get Aaron Rodgers. Also, there's a guy out there named Joe Flacco, played in some Super Bowl, okay? He can fit it. I think this is going to end up being a blessing in disguise for the Steelers if Aaron Rodgers does not sign with the Steelers. And I say this.
Break that down.
You have to almost be forced into a complete reset at the quarterback position because you can't keep putting Band-Aids over these things. Look what they did last year with Russell and Justin. They had 2 Band-Aids. None of them fit because they didn't get it back next year, okay? They fell off. Now Aaron Rodgers, Band-Aid, he's not going to play more than 1 year. Go in, find a guy at 21. Jackson Dart, if he is still there, which I do not think he is, take him. Jalen Milroe's been linked to you. I'm good with that. You have to figure out a way to start over and to find your franchise guy.
Interesting. We're going to elaborate on that take in the future. I think there's a lot to what you just said right there. Hey, the breaking news is the Cowboys have put out a deal to Micah Parsons to make him the highest paid player in NFL history. Micah Parsons and his team currently contemplating that deal. We'll give you all the updates on the other side of the commercial break. Literally, I just got that news on my phone. We got to talk about it.
Faraday presenta Ojos con Alergia y Picazón contra el jardinero. Y el ganador es Faraday Extra Fuerte. Para aliviar la picazón de los ojos por alergia, actúa más rápido y supera a Claritin y Flonase aún a las 24 horas. Faraday, adelante.
Hey, we got breaking news. The Cowboys had offered the deal to make Micah Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Jerry Jones is agreed on the deal, but the problem is they didn't include Micah's agent, David Mulugeta, in the talks, and Micah's not going to sign without his agent's approval. This is crazy. Well, bring us on camera. The beauty of this show.
Are you serious? The team went around the agent's back.
Hey, that's good business by Jerry, though. Hey, come here.
Saying, hey, you can save your 3% of money of agent fee.
I get it. I get it.
I get it too, man.
Here's the good thing about this show. The Cowboys, they went around Jerry. They went around, the Cowboys went around Micah Parsons' agent's back. I just called Micah Parsons' agent during commercial break. The Cowboys are going to Cowboy. That's the dilemma at hand here. The Cowboys could have got this deal done with Micah Parsons a year ago. Cowboys could have got this deal done with Micah Parsons before the Myles Garrett deal signed and could have saved themselves tens to 20 of millions of dollars, but the Cowboys chose not to do that. Now what the Cowboys are doing is trying to go behind Micah Parsons' agent's back because what they want to do is see if the player will be ignorant enough to try to negotiate the deal without representation. Negotiating the deal without representation, the player will thus miss all of the loopholes. Problem, Jerry Jones,
so crazy.
You're not smarter than everybody else. The problem, Jerry Jones, you're actually not as well run as so many different organizations. Think about it right now. The Baltimore Ravens are trying to sign Lamar Jackson before C.J. Stroud signs with Houston, getting ahead of that. The Philadelphia Eagles, they signed A.J. Brown before the Vikings signed Justin Jefferson, getting ahead of that. Well-run organizations do well-run organizational things. The Dallas Cowboys, not a well-run organization, trying to go behind the player representation's back. And you know Micah Parsons and his team and his agent are cool. Makes no sense.
They really went behind the agent's back. Jerry, that's real.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just, look, this is the Cowboys. They always do stuff. They always wait. They should get in front of this. And quite honestly, if Micah talked to them, then sure, we know Micah wants to be a Cowboy. We know Micah's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. But it's just a little bit of shadiness going on right here. Like, just do the proper thing. Negotiate with his agent. Don't go behind his back. You're not, if you think you can pull a fast one on him, like, I can't even react to this because when was the last time something like this?
I love it.
Like, are they trying to save him 3% on it? Like, because that's your agent fee? I say 3%, but it's 3% of $200 million. That's a lot of bread. Hey, we're gonna give you $500,000 less so you can. Like, I don't have words, bro.
So, how far did they get in the discussion?
He said he agreed to a deal.
He said Jerry agreed to it.
With Micah. With Micah. Micah and Jerry agreed to a backdoor deal.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know how seriously I take that. I'm sure Jerry agreed. You know what I mean?
Hold up his word in court.
So y'all laugh. I would say this though, man. Be honest. Now Micah has the best agent in football, right? Of
course.
And Drew, don't kill me for that, but all we gotta do is just win.
He's calling me right now. Hold on, let me check.
Answer?
Let me.
Okay. But I will say this though. There's sometimes now agents won't like this though, but a lot of big time players, sometimes the agent be wanting to get this max contract that looks so great to the public and other agents, where for me, this might be good enough for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes the owner or the head coach to talk to the player. Look, bro, this is what we got for you, home. We're going to give you a little more than we want to give you, right? You might not get as much as you want.
Yep.
And you know what that's called? That's called a great deal. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. I don't get everything I want, you don't get everything you want, and we both feel a little uncomfortable, but we both want each other. That's a great deal. And I think Micah Parsons, he's one of the best players in football. They got to make him the highest paid defensive player of all time, non-quarterback, for sure.
Course.
Yeah, easy.
But all I'm saying is, I don't know the details of everything, but I've been in situations with other players, right? I'm in situations where the head coach and the owner, they might come straight to the player. Look, we've been negotiating with your agent. It's been back and forth and over the smallest little details. Let's just talk to you about it.
Yeah, but
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
You don't do that in.
But that's different.
You don't do that in NFL contracts,
No.
though. Right? Like, I literally just did that.
money.
I got another book coming out, and my agent talking to their agent, and I'm like, look. I just picked up the phone and went to them direct. Like, hey, enough with all this agent talk. I'm grown, you grown. The problem is what we know about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and the NFL as a business, half the time ownership is going to try to take advantage of the player with that deal.
No doubt.
Either with injury clauses, either with injury guarantees, either with the money being so backloaded, whatever the case may be. Just making sure he didn't tell me nothing too.
I can't agree. I can't agree with that, Joe.
What part of it?
Because I know players like that. I know players. I didn't go through that. You know, I got all the top tier contracts in my time. But I know other players that instead of going back and forth with the agent, back and forth, and you waiting on $1 million. You wait on this. Look, what's going on? Whatever the owner is, what's going on with the head coach? I've seen it happen, and players get deals done. So you telling me? Let me ask you this question. You telling me that there's some times where big deals don't get done because the agent wants a little bit more?
1,000%. Yes.
So
1,000%.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of these agents do things for their benefit. So now, hold up. So now, when I go to argue with the next wide receiver, look, hey, look what I got. This dude. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but think about what we're talking about here. Micah Parsons' agent is going to act in the best interest of Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Jerry don't want that. Yeah. It's almost like if somebody wants to go around you, Jay, and just talk directly to your kids.
Yeah.
Well, go around you, Chase, talk directly to your kids. Because they know you're not going to play those games. Micah Parsons' agent is the same agent that got the Deshaun Watson deal.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons' agent is the same agent that just made Derek Stingley the highest paid cornerback in football. That's the same agent that got Jalen Ramsey the highest deal. So if you're Jerry, you're like, hold on a second. If I got to talk and negotiate with Micah's representation, it's going to cost me a whole lot more money.
My only thing is I'm confused here because I understand exactly what Shady's saying, right? If you're talking to my agent and Jerry Jones is coming to me and he's saying, hey, bruh, like your agent is tripping over $3 million, blah, blah, blah. As for Micah, listen, what's his name? Mulugeta. Hey, listen, I'm not tripping off. I'm about to make $280, bro. I'm not tripping. But hold on, though.
Yep.
My confusion right now is it says Micah and Jerry agreed to the deal. It don't say Mulugeta and the Cowboys and Micah agreed to the deal. So my thing is, was he not even in on these conversations?
He wasn't in on the conversation.
They haven't talked since the combine.
The agent wasn't even in on the conversation.
They haven't talked since the combine.
So wait, you telling me that he ain't talked to him at all?
They haven't talked since the combine.
But real quick though, right? Because
combine. Digest that, Shady. Digest that.
No, you can't. So wait, Micah's not going. Mike is not going to sign a deal without nobody looking over.
Of course.
And this is something. So, for example, right? So Micah said and he's documented saying this. He said, yo, if I get $40 million a year, I'm great with that, right? Now, his agent is one of the best in the game, probably the best. He's not saying that. No, we're not even going to say that. We want 45, hoping we get 41. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you because there's sometimes where and I ain't trying to talk about my business, but I'm going to talk about my business. Where Drew Rosenhaus is the best. At the time, he was the best. And Andy Reid, man, has always been tight. I used to hang out at his beach houses and all that.
Hello.
Anyway, and there was time where we got to a certain, now we was beating your boy Jamal Charles, we blew him out the water. He took a bad deal, we blew him out the water. But he was trying to get AP, right? And at the time, I was the best player for the Eagles. So it's like, we got leverage. And man, Andy this tight, and I'm like, I want to be here, I love this team, I love the coaches. Like, my hometown was an hour away, what we doing? And I said, Andy, I'm all right with that, right? We talked about, I want the Drew, I said, let's just do the deal. But Drew was like, yo, we have to leverage. No, man, we're going to more money. And I'm thinking of, yes, more money for me, obviously, but I'm his client. And now when I go and the Marshawn Lynch gets a deal and Chris Johnson gets a deal, and I'm saying, well, them guys with first round, look, I got shady. You get what I'm saying? Those are all leverage to deal to when you do other deals.
Correct.
So Michael might be cool with the 40.
But I'm saying Drew was.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
But Drew was in on that.
It's shady.
Let's come back. Can we come back to this? Let's come back to this.
I came back at Drew.
It's a lot, and I got to text the agent back because he called me during the drive.
It ain't nothing shady about getting $40, but he do have the best agent in football, though.
Dude,
that is the best, dog. That boy's so good. I need him right now.
We got breaking news. That is, the Cowboys have allegedly agreed to a deal with Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones, to make him the highest paid player in the NFL history, not quarterback. Problem is, the Cowboys didn't include Micah Parsons' agent, David Mulugheta, on the deal, so Micah Parsons said, hold on, until Mulugheta gets to look at the deal, my agent, no deal's going to get done. Because of the confusion, I called Mulugheta myself, and where the Cowboys are currently at is they brought Micah Parsons in to talk about the deal. Micah Parsons said, hey, thanks for bringing me in to talk about the deal, but I'm not agreeing to anything until y'all talk to my agent.
Okay,
so it sounds like Jerry, sounds like Jerry wanted to go around the agent of Micah, go directly to Micah to negotiate said deal.
I can't agree on that part. Because nothing's going down without my agent.
Correct.
So if you want to talk about it, we can do that. And then the one thing is, Micah has the best agent in football, hands down. So I'm not going to sign nothing unless my agent's there. Yeah. And I don't think you can even do that. I can't sign this without my agent.
You could, though.
You could.
An agent or a lawyer, somebody has to look at some of this terminology.
The thing is, they don't have to.
Lamar represented
Remember, go back to Russell Okung. Lamar, at least his mom was his agent. Russ straight in.
But what I'm saying, I'm sure somebody looked over some of the wording and all that. All I'm saying is, hearing that, I'm not mad at that, right? If you want to talk to a player, because we don't know Jerry Jones and Michael Parsons' relationship. I'm going to text him and ask him later, what's up with y'all? But it's more if Mr. Lurie of the Eagles or Andy Reid at the time, hey, let's go talk about this contract, I would go in there and talk to him about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not making no deal, so I talk to my agent. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes these agents, and I'm not talking about Michael's agent because he's the best, but I'm just saying some agents, they want to overdo it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's like, this is my career. I'm okay with being at the best of the market. Sometimes these agents want to be like way above the market.
Yeah, no, I don't mind this at all. Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, he drafted him in the first round. They have a relationship together. So I don't mind. Hey, man, step into my office. Let's chop it up a little bit, man. What you thinking about your deal? You know what I mean? Hey, this is what we thinking, whatever. Cool. Hey, I'm thinking I want to be the highest paid. Talk to Mulugheta. All that's cool. But my thing is he signed to Mulugheta. So he can't sign nothing without him anyway because Mulugheta can come after him, right? It's not like Lamar and his mom, or it's not like you don't have an agent. You're signed to this dude. Now, you can fire him and do something on your own, but if you're signed to him, you cannot sign a deal without him anyway. So I don't think this was...
The difference is, Micah Parsons could sign the deal without his agent's involvement. He would still have to pay his agent, but you could sign it without his involvement.
Absolutely.
What I believe that Jerry...
in trouble,
No, you can sign it completely without him.
You have to wait 5
Unless
days
your agent has power of attorney over all your life decisions. But let me just tell y'all and break it down just because I'm getting from the actual source. There is no agreement. For clarity, there is no agreement between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons to become the highest paid offer. It appears there's a conversation, there was an offer. You could suggest that Jerry Jones tried to corner Micah Parsons, if you will, tried to corner Micah Parsons into signing a deal excluding Micah's agent. Micah was not going for that. Micah was not ignorant enough to go for that. But for clarity, hearing it on the facility, there is no agreement between Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys to becoming the highest paid. There was a conversation trying to exclude Micah's agent, which is a little sketchy.
Cornering, I can't.
I said you could suggest he cornered him.
Okay.
That's why.
Because they might be tight. That's like if I got an agent and you trying to present a deal, you know how we talk business.
Yep.
And you talking, I'm like, we can talk about it. There's nothing wrong with that. But people outside us say, oh, look at that, Acho being Acho. You get what I'm saying? I don't think there's nothing wrong with what they did.
Reports are out there that they met for 5 or 6 hours. So what are you talking about for 5 or 6 hours? You're probably talking about the framework of a deal.
Well, the first hour might be messing around. What up, Jerry? You know how it is.
That's a long conversation with Jerry Jones, though, bro.
What's the second hour?
And what's the third hour?
See,
and what's the fourth hour?
There ain't no
and
way
what's the fifth hour?
Oh,
and what's the 6 hours with Jerry Jones?
Hey, see, y'all don't be hating on owners.
But I'm just saying,
Here's why I don't like it at all. Because it's almost like if two people are at a unit, left side of the desk, the married folk at the desk, I'm sure y'all talk about the aspect of like, hey, don't ask your mama something without asking me, but I'm sure your kids try to split y'all sometimes.
Oh, they do that.
Hey Mom, can I go to this house? And wife probably gonna call James like,
a lot of
hey,
arguments because I'm like, get on, man.
like don't split. Don't split the unit. And if Micah and an agent, an athlete and their representation are supposed to be a unit, Jerry, don't try to just, hey, you know what? I ain't finna talk
by
to
Jerry though.
Brilliant by Jerry. Brilliant by Jerry.
And that's the thing though. This is like an approach the Cowboys have used before. They try to pitch these superstar players on, this is America's team. Come and build your brand. They try to get guys to sign for 5, 6, 7 years so they can't get back to the market and try to take less than value. So this is not a surprise for it. It's smart by Jerry to do it if they talked about the deal, because I'm all for one-on-one conversation with an owner and a star player. But facts of the matter is, if you're trying to get him to corner him, that's what I have an issue with.
I got to take it to break. Hey, Lamar Jackson could become the highest paid player in football. The Ravens are trying to get ahead of it and make Lamar the highest paid. So would anybody be under more pressure? What a show in sports today. Just crazy news all over.
Lamar's table again?
Man.
Got 3 years left.
Lamar Action Jackson. That's the man. He's about to become the highest paid player once again. That's what
finally
has said. He's been in conversations internally to make him the highest paid. For the sake of time, bring us on camera. Sadie, what's your instant reaction?
I'm super excited. Finally, we get to talk about a quarterback that earns an elite quarterback getting elite money. I'm tired of talking about the Darnolds and who the other guy is about to get paid. Brock Purdy's and all these dudes. Like, he's a dude that earned his money and he deserves the top of the charts. And guess what? Nobody up here is going to have any argument about if he should get paid or not. We all going to smile and say yes. You see how that works? Yeah. Brock Purdy was like, oh, well, he don't did he. Lamar, oh, yeah. Finally, they got it right. Finally.
Yeah, there's no one under more pressure than Lamar Jackson. Super excited about it. Just show my graphic and just look. Like, you can say Josh Allen's under pressure. You can say Joe Burrow's under pressure. Multiple MVPs, Super Bowl wins. The only no on the list, Lamar Jackson. Agreed, he has had his best 2 years playing. You have to win a Super Bowl. Until that becomes the case, you're going to be the most under pressure of any quarterback in the league because of what you've showed us. So go win a Super Bowl.
That graphic was
drop.
Lamar Jackson's a young player, though. He got a long time
8 years
to
in, James.
continue to keep doing.
Young.
Still young.
He's still young.
You retired after how many?
Hand a quarterback. Hand a quarterback.
You only played 9?
Yeah.
Hand a quarterback.
9 is a long time.
You know what I'm saying?
He ain't that young.
He is not James Jones. He's way better than James Jones.
And a quarterback.
He's an elite player. He's a quarterback. He's going to play for a long time. He's going to be fine. But number one, kudos, because they're doing it the right way. Get your franchise quarterback signed, and then you can keep continuing to build around them. But I'm not going to say the most pressure. I put Joe Burrow in that category. I put Josh Allen in the category because Joe Burrow, if you don't make the playoffs, it's 3 years in a row, and we calling you elite, and you ain't been to the playoffs. Josh Allen, you ain't sniffed the Super Bowl neither, just like Lamar Jackson, so it's pressure on you, too. If an Aaron Rodgers comes back and plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's pressure on him, too. So I'm not just going to put all the pressure on Lamar Jackson.
That's very well said. Hey, it's been one heck of a show. It's been one heck of a show. The show, it peaks after the commercial break. It's time for a Blitz meeting. Hey, SGA, he's been cooking, but who's the best team in the NBA? Is it the Celtics or is it the Thunder? Hey, Jokic, he plays tonight. Who's going to have more points? And then Kirk Cousins, where should he end up? That's next. He end up. Hold on, come on, camera. Come on, camera. Kill this. Kill this. Kill the basketball conversation. This is more important. Reggie Coleman, kill this. Kill it. Please. During commercial break, I found out some tragic news. Some terrible news. Some appalling news.
Somebody died?
Some vomit-inducing news. Your credibility and your reputation of your athleticism died. It died a brutal death, Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy's vertical, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God. 29 inches.
No.
Little baby height.
Did y'all?
29
that's not
inches.
factual. 20. So what is that? Wait. If that's not true, what if it was? What are we saying?
29?
What are we saying? Who was more athletic out of all of us?
Here's how we found out. This is the worst part about it. Shady, we were asking him, hey, could you dunk? He said, I lived above the rim. Not I visited. He said, I built a house above the rim. He said he lived there. He had a condo above the rim. So then I had to find out. I said, hey, what was his vertical? Because I played with my dog. I knew my dog. I knew he couldn't jump. But 29 inches? See that?
Hey, yo, hold on.
That's this.
Hold up 29.
Hey, 29.
Now let's just keep it.
That's it.
I don't know what that means, but if we argue who's the most
That's probably the sound he made.
if we argue who's the most athletic, your knees touch.
That's
right? When you
fine.
walk. Chase, I see him back in the day. I still didn't know he played football because the way he looked, his body frame is worldwide.
Yes.
And James Jones was always super slow. We can't have a concept about athletes.
Hold on.
Who's a better athlete? Ain't even a question.
What was Chase's vertical at the combine?
Oh my God.
Chase's vertical was 33 inches.
I'm the best athlete.
What was James Jones' vertical at the combine, please?
This is Archer. You be like.
But here's the thing. At least don't hear
And
me.
then you.
What was you?
I don't know.
He was always that size. And Chase, you always was that size.
30.
All I'm saying is we're not talking about athletes.
33.
So y'all say y'all more athletic than I was?
James Jones out of 34.
I almost jumped like you.
Are y'all saying y'all more athletic than me?
all that.
I'm trying to figure out what we talking about. Are y'all saying y'all more athletic than me?
I'm the best athlete on the show.
We're saying we can all jump higher. Wait, what was my vertical?
Clearly.
I don't know who could jump higher. I know if we talking about who's a better athlete, it ain't even close.
So let me just let's get once and for all. Just so
We don't even move this. We don't even move the same. We don't even walk the same.
Okay, so Shady had a 29-inch vertical. Chase had a 33-inch vertical. James had a 34-inch vertical. Had a 35-inch vertical. Can we just at least stand on our vertical?
Wait. What we talking about?
Just kind of stand.
I didn't jump for real though. I didn't really jump.
I feel some type of way standing by a dude who got a 29-inch vertical.
I didn't really jump.
At the combine, man, it was cold.
I didn't really jump.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The difference is at the combine,
I feel a little awkward.
y'all treat it like it was a Super Bowl. I was just hanging out. That's the real truth. I was hanging out. Cause I knew I was going. I'm going eventually. Y'all was trying to make the team. I knew I was gonna be on the team. They called him Mom, I hope the coach love me because I'm trying my hardest. Me? Yeah, Mom, I'll be back later. Yeah, I got this combine like that. I'll be back later.
Hey,
Cause I knew I was going, Johnny.
Don't let him get you in your feelings like that, dog.
It's the truth.
You got him going crazy right now.
They praying for 13 hours. Lord, please let the Eagles take me.
33? Can we say this? Obviously, Shady had a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about football. We're talking about this athletic.
I'm the best athlete.
You weren't.
James, you used to run like this.
Not close. I did not.
You used to run like that,
I did
James.
not used to run like that.
But Shady, 29, though. Can we redo that?
29. You can get more than 29.
Let's get that exonerated like from your record.
We gotta do that.
Let's just get
Y'all should behave.